What's up, it's George from Fragrance Press. Welcome to the end of September and a very common problem that happens here in Great Britain, and that is it's still bloody warm. This is what is known as an Indian summer, or really it's to make up for the absolute shite summer that we had. This is what happens in Britain, right? It's almost tropical. We have a lovely sort of spring, and then summer comes along, and around about June, July and August it absolutely pisses it down and it becomes a rain season, and then suddenly in September and October it becomes warm again. And for a fragrance enthusiast such as myself, this creates a very unique problem which I have never seen any fragrance video about, and that is, what do you wear in this Indian summer type of deal, or this very early fall, very early, just going into autumn, where it's still warm, where it's still pretty bright and sunny, but yet it is kind of autumnal. It's a very kind of niche transitional period that I've never really seen any fragrance reviewer tackle. So here's the issue. It's warm, but it's not really warm enough to wear citruses or fresh fragrances necessarily. It's not cold enough yet to wear very chocolatey and very gourmandy type fragrances. It's in this very weird purgatory, if you will. So you want something that has got a bit of freshness but has also got a little bit of depth, and to me I've got three fragrances that can tackle that very easily, and they're very in-betweeny types of fragrances. So if you are like me and you are stuck in this kind of conundrum where it's very early fall, it's not really warm enough to wear citrusy, kind of bright citrusy elements like neroli or bergamot or anything like that, but it's not cold enough yet to wear your darker, oudier, chocolatey, gourmandy fragrances, then here are three fragrances in no particular order that I would recommend to you. So a first instinct of mine would have been to go for Dior Homme, but it's still a little bit too much. It's still a little bit too thick. It's not quite what I'm going for. Then I was thinking about Dior Homme Intense, and that's definitely a no-go. Dior Homme Sport wouldn't work either, so I go for Dior Homme Oh, which is a good way of putting this fragrance. It's a bit like, oh, right, yeah, sure. So this has got the Dior Homme DNA, but it's got a little bit more of a synthetic aldehydic nature, which gives it a rounded kind of balmy fragrance, and this has been great in this type of weather. I've been wearing this a considerable amount because it has got that. This is my scent of the day, actually. So yeah, it's got that Dior Homme DNA, but it is not too thick. It's also got a little bit of a looser element to it. It is a little bit morely, it is a little bit generic. I completely understand that, and for some of you that might put you off, and I totally get that. But this has just been the bee's knees for me. This has just been what the doctor has ordered for me personally, because it's not yet cold enough to get my sexy Dior Homme or Dior Homme Intense on, but it is still also not warm enough to wear Dior Homme Sport. So slap bang in the middle is this, because it has that balmier type of element, because it's got that very well balanced, very well rounded element to it. This has been something that I have been wearing, and it is great for the early fall. Right. Number two is a fragrance that some of you will definitely be familiar with. This is Mont Blanc Individual. I've rated this for a very long time. I put this in my Summer Nights Out fragrance series, and this has got that fantastic raspberry note with just a little bit of vanilla, but it's not overbearing. It's got a similar tonality and vibe to Dior Homme Oh, which has got, it's all about that well-rounded balance, and that is exactly what I need. I need that very balanced, circular homeostasis, if you will, to get me through this kind of weird weather. So that raspberry note, really, this is fantastic, really works in with that kind of more humid part of the weather. It's got a bit of warmth that will warm me up with the cooler elements, but it's also got that Dior Homme DNA, which again will further the cause in this fragrance weather, but it's also got a little bit of a cooling effect. It's got a ton of notes, and some of it has a little bit of a citrus just underneath, and that just levels it all up. But again, the two things that these two have in common is that they're incredibly well balanced. And the third fragrance that is getting me through this bizarre weather with the Indian summer is this. This is from Jean Paul Gaultier. You know that I'm quite a big fan of this. This is Le Beau. I'm a little bit saddened that this hasn't got the attention that it has deserved. I haven't seen too many people raving about it, but this has got a really tropical element, and the thing that this really holds together is the coconut. And coconut's fantastic for this type of weather, where it's not too hot, not too cold, because it's got the cooling effect of the coconut, but it's also got the woodier element of the coconut husk, and that is perfectly encapsulated in this. It's very tropical, it's very party-like. These three fragrances have got a very similar vibe to them, as you could definitely tell. If I was to rate them from 1 to 3, I don't really know. I think that probably my favourite personally would have to be Mont Blanc Individual, because it's got just a very, very well-rounded aspect to it. It has got that wonderful raspberry note. I wore this a lot when I visited New York City when I was 21 years old, and I was just so excited and so happy that I could actually drink in New York City because I had reached the legal age requirement. And it was just great for those really wonderful nights out that I'd go on. And because the city is of course very hot, it's very warm, it was, I think, the middle of May, but also, you know, as the nighttime drew in, it got pretty cold. This was absolutely perfect for that. And yeah, second would have to be Le Beau. I think that the only thing that Mont Blanc Individual has over it is that it's just that fantastic raspberry note, and Pierre Bourdon is absolutely wonderful. He's an absolute genius. This is very, very tropical. Like I said, this has got that coconut. It's got a bit of like this mango punch. So if you're a fan of kind of fruitier chords, if you're a fan of those kind of tropical citrusy elements, then this is going to be absolutely fantastic for you. And yeah, I think that honestly, because of its genericness, because the fact that, yeah, as David would say, it's a little bit mall-like, you know, it's a little bit like every fragrance that you've ever smelt at the mall. This would go last, but I've got to say that with what I'm wearing today, with the blazer, when I'm going out, when I'm going to go and see people, this is going to be absolutely great for that. It's a safe space for you to wear fragrance. And yeah, it's absolutely fabulous, and it does get compliments. These all get great feedback if you're worried about that. These all get great attention. I'd say that Le Beau is a little bit more bombastic than the other two, but still, they're just fantastic fragrances. And yeah, so yeah, these have been just brilliant in the weather conditions, the unique weather conditions that I've had. If you're a fellow Brit right now, and it is we're about to go into October, but yet it's still strangely warm, please let us know down below if you're in the similar situation, and please tell me if these fragrances have helped. I think that more Brits should be talking about this weird and wacky time of the year that we seem to have. I've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've got something out of it, and I hope that you've got something out of these choices, especially if you're a Brit out there who is in this unique situation. Anyway, if you do like this kind of content, and this is your latest video, this first video you've ever seen to me, hi, I'm George. Hit like, hit subscribe if you like, and leave a lovely comment down below. What fragrances are you wearing in this early fall time? Of course, this isn't my proper fall list, and none of these will probably be on the big autumn list that's coming at the end of October, but they have helped me out. Anyway, I'm the Fragrance Apprentice. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out.
The